Hello and good evening, Shamrock fans. My name is Anthony Pasquale, class of 2018, here with
Nathan Huzenis, class of 2017.
and we're here at Kirtland Court to bring you an all-important game between the Shamrocks of the East Suburban Catholic Conference and the Loyola Ramblers of the Chicago Catholic League. Nathan, what's the deal with these two teams' heights?
Yeah, both of these teams are really undersized. Loyola's tallest player being 6'4", for a high school varsity basketball team, really short. So I expect whoever can take control of the rebounding game is going to come away with the win.
And that's also one of Coach Bailey's three keys to the game, being rebounding. I was a little late getting to him before the game, and he brought me to an assistant coach who had the three keys, and they are, the first key is to stop the other team's three-point shooting. So obviously, as you see a team that's undersized, they're usually good shooters. Loyola is one of the best shooting teams in their conference, so we're going to have to stop their three-point shooting. The second thing that he mentions is that our team needs to rebound. They rebounded really good against Dundee Crown, but not so good the game before against St. Ignatius, so that's going to be key. And lastly, he said we need to make shots in our own gym. Shamrocks haven't been making as many shots as the ones we saw in the Marist game, where I believe Lawrence had close to 20 points and on, I believe, 5 three-pointers. So if they get that shot back, they should have a good chance of winning this game.
I think it's important for us to get their shot going early on. Saying last game against Dundee Crown, we didn't really get going until after halftime. It was still a close game after half, but if we can get those shots falling early, we should be able to take this W.
And one of the things that I find important in this game is Loyola is only 6-8, so they're not a team that you would look at their record and think that they're going to be a big threat. But the way they shoot, any team's a threat. So they're better than their record says, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and any team can get hot on any given night, especially from three-point. That can be lethal.
Definitely. And our team is 10-6, coming off a win against Dundee Crown. That was our 10th win of the season. It's always a big benchmark for a team to win 10 games. One of the things I like to say about Loyola is in the 2013-2014, they won the Chicago Catholic League and became sectional champions, much like our team from last year. And one of our things that we can brag about is we've won regionals 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising they have such a weak record considering they've been so good in the past years.
Yeah, and the Chicago Catholic League is not a league to take lightly because they have St. Joseph's, who actually knocked us out of the super sectional tournament last year. But however, this team Loyola lost to St. Joseph's.
I think for their conference, you kind of see a lot of height because there's so much talent that it's kind of hard to compete when your tallest player is 6'4". I mean, if he's getting so many offensive rebounds, that can kill you.
That's why a lot of times the Shamrocks get taken lightly because they're not, and they have never recently been a tall team. One of the other important things is that Loyola did play a couple of teams in our conference. One of the teams they played is St. Viator, who we have not played yet. We will play them in February, but they lost to St. Viator. And also, our next game that we're going to be broadcasting is against Marion Central Catholic on January 22nd, so we can look forward to that.
Yeah, it should be a good game.
Loyola's one of their top players, a point guard named Brandon Danowski. He wears number 1, and when I was on the Max Preps website, they had all his stats and everything. Really a good player. Right here it says that Brandon Danowski is 6 feet tall and weighs 165 pounds, so he may be a little bit of a threat.
Yeah, I want to see how many guards they come out with since they're so short. I imagine at least 3 guards that can all shoot, maybe even 4.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like the Shamrocks and the Ramblers are getting ready for the announcements of the starting lineups, so we will leave you all with that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kirtland Court on the campus of St. Patrick High School, the oldest all-boys high school in the state of Illinois. For tonight's varsity matchup, it's non-conference. The Ramblers of Loyola Academy to St. Patrick's
And Henry wins the jump and he'll give it to Shawneck. Shawneck will start by bringing up the ball slowly. He'll dribble it around. Over to Jalen on the top of the key. Inside over to John on top. John dribbles it over to Sean on the wing, who will dribble it over to the other wing, take a jump shot, no good. And Loyola will get the rebound. One of the things that you see out there is John Hamilton and Henry both at the same time. Looks like the Shamrocks, although they're not very tall, this is one of their taller lineups.
Yeah, Coach Bailey definitely wants to get the boards early, kind of take control of the rebound and set the tone.
It'll definitely be important. So Loyola gets a wide open three, no good. They will get an offensive rebound.
That's exactly what Coach Bailey doesn't want.
You're right about that.
That was an easy offensive rebound. Didn't look at anyone to box him out.
Jim passing it around. Trying to get it inside to Julius Guzman. Over around the edge. Get it inside number 25's dribbling on Shawneck. They'll call a foul on Shawneck. Looks like one of the guys that's going to play big for them is number 4, Julian Guzman. He's only 6'2", but as you can see already, he plays a little bit bigger than it.
Yeah, he's kind of their center, I guess.
Loyola, number 25, right in there. He misses, no call at all. John Hamilton gets in, gives it to Sean. Jalen will dribble right in, kick it over to Henry, who takes the jumper, air balls. And it'll stay Shamrock ball. Looks like Loyola tipped it out. That was not a good shot by Henry.
No, it seemed like he rushed it, kind of a quick shot. But you can already tell this game is going to be physical. A lot of bashing in the post.
Definitely. There's Lawrence for 3. He's short. You don't see that much often. And Loyola's quick off the transition. He'll get the layup.
I think Coach Bailey went to a 2-3 to try to stop that, but
couldn't get in it fast enough.
Yeah, got to get back on defense.
It was junior Raymar Evans with the shot. Now Lawrence is dribbling around.
Look at that. We've already seen like 3 guys on the floor. Really getting physical out there.
And they'll call a foul on Loyola for sure. That was on number 4, Julian Guzman. That'll be his first. Loyola leads it 2-zip here with about 6 to go in the first quarter. Sean takes it over the half-court line, gives it right to John Hamilton. John on top of the key to Shawneck. Over on the wing to Lawrence. Inside to Henry, trying to muscle up, can't do it. Gives it to Sean. John Hamilton takes a 3, no good. Loyola grabs the rebound and they'll take it up court. One of the things I noticed already, Loyola's moving the ball up and down the court very fast.
Yeah, I think that's kind of their strength, considering they have so many guards. Really fast team, I bet.
And there's a jumper there by Julius de Guzman.
I mean, that's where you see probably a lot of their points tonight. They're going to be on transition. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't score here. We're going to need a timeout and talk it over.
Is Loyola in a man-to-man defense, or are they in a 2-3?
I don't know. They switched twice already, so that's going to be a big thing for Pats, is understanding what defense they're in and try to attack their weaknesses.
Looks like it's man-to-man at this time. And Jalen tries to pass it. Gets hit right off of number 3, and it goes out of bounds, but looks like Jalen hit it before that. Shamrock ball. Lawrence will inbound it to John on the wing. Over on top to Shawneck. Over to Jalen. Jalen unable to get the pass to John, and Loyola will take it back up.
At least everyone got back on defense off that miss.
Loyola and their sophomore team is coming off a blowout win against our sophomore team, which is something you don't see often. Our sophomore team was handing just their 3rd loss of the season, as I believe they are now 12-3.
Yeah, I walked into the gym and saw the score. I was really surprised.
And another miss by Loyola. St. Pat's takes it up. Jalen will take a shot. No good. They'll call a block. So the SS Jalen will be parking himself at the free throw line.
Nice drive by Jalen. Got the contact, got to the line.
Both him and Keyshawn are really smart with the ball. They know when it's time to attack, and it was a great job there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see Jalen and Keyshawn have so many of the same abilities when they're out in the court. It's kind of cool to see them especially when they're both out there.
They're really similar players, which is something that's hard to find in a 2-guard. And they both can also play 3 and 1, which is good. They're both versatile. Here comes Ayo, the biggest man on our team. Ayo Ayaje. Jalen trying to put the Shamrocks up on the scoreboard. And the second one is good. The SS Jalen gets it to go. Shamrocks trail by 3, 4-1, with 4 minutes and 39 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
You already see Pat switch their defense. They started with a 2-3, and now they're in a man defense.
Oh, and it looks like Dewey is checked in the game along with Ayo. So Lawrence is still in there. Jalen left the game along with Henry. And Lawrence is able to poke the ball away but unable to keep it in bounds. Loyola will retain possession.
We haven't seen Loyola put up a 3-point shot, which is kind of surprising, but also kind of bad because they're getting to the basket pretty easily, making a lot of good passes.
Their 2 points have been off inside chances, which is not something you see from them a lot. A lot of physical contact, not a lot of fouls called as Shamrocks poke it around, but Loyola retains.
I wonder if the refs are going to try to...
Step back 3 is good. I believe that was number 1, Brandon Danowski, guy we talked about in the open. Great shot.
Lawrence trying to set the offense up. Got to get something going here.
Nice spin there by Lawrence. They'll call a foul there.
It'll be kind of interesting to see what the refs are going to let happen since it's already been a physical game, what they're going to let go and see if they're going to let this physical play continue.
Because these teams both have to be very physical because we already mentioned they aren't that tall. This is going to be a big test for the Shamrocks because they usually don't play teams that are like themselves.
Yeah, this is a different kind of opponent, kind of a different look of a team.
Sean on the corner to Dewey. Dewey almost walked, but he was able to get the pass to Lawrence. Lawrence will take it right in, and they'll call a charge.
Lawrence seemed kind of wild on that shot. Just kind of drove in, ran right into him.
Number 25, Raymar Evans took the charge, and the foul will be called on Lawrence Merritt. His first, the team's second.
Yeah, Pat has to remember not to get frustrated so early on. I know nothing's working so far on offense, but just let it happen. There's no shot clock. No need to rush anything.
One of the things that you mentioned in the pregame is that Max Trophy should be getting a lot more minutes. And you see him here with only 3 to go in the first. He's already making an impact.
Yeah, he's perfect player for this game. He's able to guard on the outside, and he can get rebounds, so it's kind of a plus.
Looks like Loyola's most dynamic player is going to be number 11, Andre White Jr. He's already got that 3-pointer that we saw step back earlier, and we just saw some smooth handles as well. There's already been 7 fouls already in the game and only 8 points, so you can see the type of game that it's going to be. That was Ayo's first foul, the team's third.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far in the bench we're going to have to go today if we keep getting these fouls. Same thing for Loyola. I bet we see a lot of the players who we don't usually see today.
And the first shot by Raymar Evans is good. Shamrocks trail by 7. And the second shot is also good. It's 9-1 Loyola. Shamrocks have 3 minutes in the first quarter to get something going. Over to Dewey. Looks like they're picking up pace on offense a little bit. Bad turnover by Dewey. Kind of just lofted it up. There's Raymar Evans guarded by Keyshawn. And they get the ball right down low. He'll take a jump shot, and that's good. 11-1, 10-point bulge now for the Loyola Ramblers, and it looks like the Shamrocks have to take a timeout.
Yeah, Coach Bailey looked pretty upset. Loyola's kind of just doing anything they want on this defense. I mean, that was one pass, and they got a shot. Not what you want to see.
Yeah, it looks like the Shamrocks come off a little bit slow today in a game that they shouldn't. It looks like they have a little bit of a stud section, which we haven't seen in a couple of games. And like we saw in the Marist game, this team feeds off the stud section.
Yeah, if there's a big stud section, you know that it energizes the team. It makes them want to be here, give it their all.
And as you can see from the view on your screen, the place is pretty jammed for a Tuesday night.
Yeah, you usually don't see this. For the past couple of years, we haven't seen that many people on weekday games. So it's kind of big that this is a big game. Loyola, I mean, people were pretty pumped up about it at school.
Yeah, and one of the things that usually happens during the Loyola game is the announcer for the Chicago Blackhawks, Pat Foley, usually comes in. Unfortunately, he could not make it today because he himself has to broadcast the game as the Hawks play tonight. But Dr. Schmidt made a promise to me, and I took his word for it. He said, before I leave, I'm going to meet Pat Foley. Great hustle by Io. And a block will be called. Io will be going to the line.
It's exactly what we need to get a spark going.
Missed
Missed the shot, got the offensive rebound, got fouled.
Definitely an opportunity for points generated by a hustle play. One thing that Coach Bailey loves to see, and hustle is one of those things that can really spark a team.
I bet that's what he told them in the timeout. They need more energy out here.
And it looks like Io airballed the first one. Usually when a free throw shooter airballs the first one, the second one is usually a swish.
I hope so.
Let's see for Io here. His second shot is up and short as well, but they get the rebound. The chauffeur to Jalen. In the corner to Io, he'll take a shot. Now he's long on the shot. Io is all over the place today.
Yeah, he didn't get a good grip on the ball. Kind of surprised he shot that.
And Loyola's moving it around with ease. And Io almost pokes it away, unable to. Loyola's just flashing around with their yellow uniforms.
Yeah, it's hard to miss them. Io's all the way out there on the guard.
I think all these guys are guards. You can't really pick a big guy. Nice play by Sean to poke that one out of bounds.
That's what Max Trophy's kind of going to be a big player today. He's so athletic. He can get out there, guard on the perimeter, and be able to battle inside.
And that's Henry in for Io now. One of the things I must say is, man, does that new court look good.
Yeah. I'm glad. Looks so much better with the painted inside the three-point. I like that.
I agree. It was definitely something that needed to be done after the couple floods that the previous gym took. Keyshawn almost able to get a steal, can't do it. The Ramblers working on a 10-point lead now.
Really using the clock.
Definitely. And the three-point shot is up and no good. Sean Eckel bringing up the court with a chance to cut into this lead. He'll give it to Keyshawn. Keyshawn dribbles around. He finds Sean back on top. Sean to Keyshawn. He'll be wide open. The bullet for three. No good. Loyola gets the rebound. It looks like they stepped out of bounds. It'll be Shamrock ball.
Yeah, St. Patrick needs to see the ball go down. For the past two possessions or so, they've gotten good looks. It's just they're not converting them at all.
And that was one of the keys. We got to be able to shoot in our own gym. As Chauffeur takes a three. And you don't see him miss much. He's lights out.
Yeah, he's already missed two. And we have 3 missed free throws.
The Shamrocks have more fouls than they do points here in the first quarter, as they now have 4 fouls and only 1 point.
Yeah, this is exactly what Coach Bailey did not want to see.
And Loyola taking control of this Shamrock defense. I'm trying to figure out where they are that's vulnerable, and I'm struggling to be able to figure it out. Looks like Loyola is just a tad bit faster. Every move they're a step ahead.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game they were all got first 4 or 6 points on transition, and now been able to set their half court and get it going.
That was Andre White looking like he's about to hold until the last shot. 8 seconds remain in the quarter. Andre White with 5 seconds remaining. Shovel passes. Shot is no good. The Chauffeur will put it up at the buzzer, and that'll be no good. That
was a very good shot for Loyola. Had that whole clock and just took up a prayer 3.
Now you see our wonderful cheer team who can maybe spark something as the Shamrocks trail by 10 after the first quarter. We enter the second quarter with the Shamrocks down 10 as Loyola leads it 11-1. Nathan, if you were Coach Bailey, what is one thing you'd be telling the team during this timeout?
I think they weren't awful. They just need to get their offense going. It wasn't so much they weren't executing, it's just that they weren't finishing. They weren't making shots like they usually do. I mean, we had about 3 open threes, and none of them went. Also, I think we've already seen like 2 or 3 air balls. That's not good, especially out of the gate. That's exactly what Coach Bailey didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted shots to go in early. That's important, to see the ball go in early in the game, get it going.
It'll build up your confidence for the rest of the game. If you take 2 of those 3-pointers and we count them as in, and we take the 3 free throws that we missed and count those as in, we'd be only down by 1 point. So I think it's not as much it's not as much the offense struggling as it is execution.
Definitely.
Because they have also scored more than 11 points in a quarter with ease before.
I mean, giving up 11 points in the first quarter, it's not that bad. I mean, down 10 going into second quarter, we're not out of this whatsoever.
As Loyola begins on offense with John Hamilton, Lawrence Merritt, Io, Sean Eck, and Dewey. Looks like Shamrocks are in a 2-3 to try to trap it. John will smack it out of bounds. It'll be Loyola ball.
I think St. Pat's needs Lawrence to kind of step up and get going. I mean, he's our big player, so big players need to make big-time shots.
Yeah, he's our spark. He's our dynamite. We need to get him going. Loyola dribbling around the perimeter. Takes a 3-pointer. Andre White is no good. Io gobbles up the rebound. Over to Dewey. Dewey to Lawrence. Fakes the deep 3, gives it to Sean Eck. Over on top to Dewey. Dewey in the corner to Sean Eck. Nice little head fake. The dribble all the way around, give it to Dewey. He'll give it to Lawrence on top of the key. He'll give it to Sean. Sean to John. John to Lawrence. Lawrence to Dewey. Dewey little alley-oop look for Io. Can't get it. Back to Lawrence. No good. Loyola will take it up the break. That was a weird possession.
Yeah, I thought we lost it out of bounds, but we got a good shot.
And another bucket for Loyola as they lead it 13-1.
That's another transition bucket. Everyone's got to get back on defense, especially this fast Loyola team.
I think Lawrence knows he needs to take control of this game if he wants the Shamrocks to get back in it.
Loyola's playing a really tight defense. I mean, they're getting around those screens
really
well.
This 2-3 looks good. It looks like they're vulnerable in the middle, but our team can't get there.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen any dump-offs to like the post or anything.
They tried to get it to Io, but couldn't get it over. As Lawrence now tries to penetrate, backs out. Gives it to Sean. Shinek dribbles right in. Gives it to John. He'll take a jumper off the rim, off the glass, and in the hoop, it's good. 2 points for the Mop.
That was a great shot. Drove in, broke down the zone defense, got a good shot.
And there, if you guys can hear it, we do have a stud section chanting, so that should spark this team. Lawrence got a fingertip on it. Io saves it, gives it to Sean. Looks like a little charge is coming from the Shamrocks. And a bucket is good for the Muffin Man, Sean Eck. Shamrocks turned a 12-point deficit into an 8-point deficit just like that. And Lawrence takes an inadvertent jump.
Now St. Pat just has to hunker down on defense, get a couple stops, get right back in the game.
And the shot, no good. They get the rebound, dribble it back out. Andre White gives it over to the top of the key. Loyola's passing it around.
The other team really seems to be able to penetrate either of these defenses. Both defenses are doing a great job.
And I don't believe the basket will count, but I believe a foul will be called on Lawrence Merritt. That'll be the fifth team foul of the half, and I believe Lawrence is third.
It's rough to get your best take your best player out.
Looks
put him on
like
the
they
bench.
gave the foul to John Hamilton, so that's a good thing. Looks like the Shamrocks are bringing in 5 new guys. Xavier, Max, Jalen Nelson, Keyshawn, Thomas, and Io will stay in the game.
Yeah, it's rough. That's gonna. If he makes this free throw, that's 3 points off a second chance bucket.
I
Don't want to see that.
think this lineup is going to be dangerous. You have both Jalen and Keyshawn, Max who can shoot, Xavier who can get through anybody, and you also have Io who can just get about any rebound. This should be interesting to see how the Shamrocks fare with this lineup.
Yeah, I wonder if Coach Bailey would change up more of the rotations. Since Loyola's kind of playing a 5-guard set, I wonder if we'll come out with a 5-guard set.
Xavier gives it to Max. Over to Keyshawn. Xavier with that high arcing shot. You know it's good. Captain Smooth cuts the deficit to 8 points.
That's big. See something go down for St. Pat's. Maybe this spark off the bench will help them.
And Loyola's dribbling, passing around. Looks like Henry's going to check to the scores table. And the Shamrocks get a turnover. Shamrock ball. This is just what the Shamrocks needed. Henry will come in for Io. Let's see Xavier Pinson work.
He's going to be big, especially if Lawrence is in foul trouble. Stepping up, making big plays.
There's Jalen. He'll take a 3. No good. Xavier just missed the rebound. He'll be trying to get back on defense. Loyola in the corner, guarded by Max Chofie. Over on top to the wing. Number 12 is now guarded by Xavier. They'll give it to 22 on top. And that was a pass to nobody. Shamrock's defense seems to be tightening up right at a good time.
Yeah, they're putting the pressure on. Second turnover in a row. Just throws out of bounds.
And Max inbounds it to Xavier. Captain Smooth with the best handles, I think, on the team. He'll give it to Max. And let us mention Xavier is just a sophomore, so you'll see 2 more years of him. There's Keyshawn. He'll take it right in. They'll call a block. He will be unable to get the shot to go, but he'll be going to the line for 2.
Like we've always been saying, Keyshawn has that knack for being able to get into the paint and get good shots. He has that great driving ability.
That's one of the reasons why we nicknamed him the Bullet, because he can really shoot through any hole and take it right to the rim. The first free throw was good. Shamrocks are now within 7 points.
Yeah, it seems like St. Pat's starting to get into their groove, starting to see some shots go down.
Keyshawn Thomas. The second free throw is also good. Shamrocks trail now just by a pair of 3-pointers. Loyola. This is a crucial possession now. Loyola can shut our stud section up or get them louder.
And like we've been saying, St. Pat's feeds off that stud section. A stop here would be huge.
Xavier takes his man. Looks like the Shamrocks are in a bit of an in-between between a man-to-man and a 2-3. Looks like now they're in a complete man. And the 3-pointer is drained by Loyola, 19-10. And now you see Sean Eck checking in at the scorer's table. He'll be coming back in. Shamrocks now trail by 9. Over to Max on top. I would say, why don't you shoot it with the way he shoots? There's Jalen. Xavier, deep 3, and it's good. Captain Smooth showing the long range. Loyola's right back up the court, however. Didn't give us any time to celebrate that one. And Loyola comes back with a 3 of their own. This is crazy. Shots firing back and forth.
Starting to look like the 3-point shootout.
Yeah, this is what we expected from the beginning. It's 22-13. Loyola leads by 9. Jalen with a nasty crossover. And it'll be Loyola ball, I believe.
Yeah, that's not a very good turnover. There's really no need for that. Definitely probably just going to make a pass on the outside anyway.
And it looks like Dewey came in along with Sean Eck. Xavier will stay in the game, however. It looks like Keyshawn and Jalen checked out.
In the motion offense that Pats play, there's no real reason to get fancy on the outside. Especially on a 2-3, you're not going to be able to just drive right in there.
This is definitely one of our taller lineups. With Xavier, Sean, Dewey. Good shot fake, got Xavier to bite. Loyola's right back up 11.
I think we're also going to need to see a bigger performance from Sean Eck because, I mean, he's a pretty big guard for his size. So he's going to have to help on that rebounding thing, on the rebounding too.
Xavier with a good shot fake. And they'll call a block. Or a charge.
That's weird. You didn't even see the referee who had the
Best view.
The best view. You saw the guy from the other side.
So it looks like they called the charge on Xavier Pinsent.
Kind of looked like the other ref was kind of confused on what the whistle was.
Yeah. Looked like he was trying to play right through it.
I thought they were going to kind of let them be more physical throughout the game, as what we kind of saw at the beginning, but I guess not. Calling everything
too.
now.
And Loyola's dribbling around. We'd like to take some time to take a shout out and say hi to an anchor that used to do exactly what me and Nathan are doing now. Mike Glynn from the class of 2013. Thank you for tuning in, Mike. And that's out of bounds. Shamrocks will get the ball.
Great defense by Pats, forced that turnover. They really closed out that guy who cut to the basket, wouldn't allow them to make a good pass.
A minute remains here in the first half as the Shamrocks trail by 11, 24-13. A three-pointer from Lawrence or Xavier or whoever wants to put it up would be great right here. Wow, Lawrence or Xavier are both not in this game right now.
It's kind of surprising to take out the hot hand of Xavier. He hit 2 threes, 2 of 2.
Yep.
I mean, he's really been the main spark to this team.
Sean over to Dewey with 30 seconds remaining. Looks like the Shamrocks may be holding for the last shot. One of the coaches said to me before the game jokingly about Coach Bailey that when he tries this strategy of taking the last shot, all time in all his years of coaching, he's 31 for 426. I don't know if that's true, but it did make me laugh. Sean Eck now with 10 seconds. He'll dribble it right into the paint. He'll give it to John Hamilton, who will take a three. No good. It'll be Loyola ball with .6 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, you're kind of surprised that, like we said, we didn't have Xavier or Lawrence and take a big shot. Kind of just got, I mean, John Hamilton doesn't really shoot threes that often. Not a very shot to end the quarter.
And that'll be the end of the first half. The Loyola Ramblers lead our St. Patrick Shamrocks 24-13. Hopefully the second half will include a little bit more on the part of the Shamrocks on offense. We'll check in with our three keys. They definitely have not stopped three-point shooting.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them hit 3 in a row at one point, I think.
And rebounding, they haven't done the best job as Loyola has gotten a couple of offensive rebounds. And they haven't shot great in their own gym. They did better in the second quarter than they did the first, but still not what we're expecting.
Yeah, I wonder if Coach Bailey's going to look towards more for the bench, unless we'll see if the Stars can get it going in the third quarter, but if not, we're going to have to really rely on this bench to kind of be the spark for this team.
Yep. And once again, I'll tell you again, the Shamrocks trail by 11, 24-13. We'll give you a moment to watch our cheerleading team and our dance team, as I will be joined by Dr. Schmidt in a couple of minutes for an interview. Stay tuned. I'm going to turn the brightness down on this because my iPad is draining. I think we still...
right, salute the clock time. You've got a green ticket with the red number, you're going to hold $34. Maria, one of our answers. Will that number? Here we go. For $34. 324-116. 324-116. You got a green ticket for 324-116.
No, still around.
Are we on, you guys? Kept, are we on?
324-116. She won.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Anthony Pasquale here with Dr. Schmidt, and I've just got a couple of questions for you, Doc.
Okay, Anthony.
First question is, how's your dog?
Oh, Annabelle misses you guys, but she's doing well. She just turned 4 on Monday, and as you know, she's one of the cutest Cocker Spaniels alive. So she's doing fine. Thanks for asking.
So obviously, we call you our president, Dr. Schmidt. What is that job entitle of?
Well, the principal is pretty much with the students and the teachers, and I'm with the board of trustees and kind of visionary and get out and raise the funds that we need to keep this great high school alive and well.
What does the job president mean to you?
Well, it really means everything because you're just trying to make sure that the total operation is all working together toward the same purpose. We, as you know, had such a successful entrance test here on Saturday, and that is testimony to all the hard work in the admissions department, but mainly to the great young guys that select St. Patrick as their high school choice.
And obviously, as a president, you get to experience a lot. What's your favorite part of your job?
Well, my favorite part is when I'm out there trying to tell all the good things about St. Patrick High School and the great young men that we have and all the terrific programs, and then the successes of our guys as they move on past St. Patrick High School and just become high integrity citizens, good husbands, good fathers, good people in society and to the church.
And obviously, we know one of your favorite hobbies is to go golfing. Just a little bit of a more personal question. Have you ever gotten a hole-in-one?
Yeah, I've got a few of those. It's not my greatest thrill. Of course, I live in McHenry on the golf course, and I'm a very addicted golfer, so I love the game. But I'm also very active with the Western Golf Association. As you know, we have so many great Evans scholars that are alums at St. Patrick, and currently have 15 of them actually in the universities, which very proudly that leads the country of any high school of numbers of kids that are on the Evans Caddy Scholarship.
And as a caddy myself, that's definitely a fact that kind of boosts my confidence about getting that scholarship.
Anthony, you just keep making great grades and be the terrific young man you are, and good things are going to happen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Schmidt. One thing that I'd like to ask you is, what's your favorite moment about that you've had at St. Patrick High School over all the years?
Boy, that's really hard to say because so many great things have happened. I think in the athletic end, because I coached basketball and tennis for 20 years, so there were some great moments with the basketball team, and I loved working with Coach Kurland for 20 years. But I think more importantly, I think my biggest thrill is just seeing all the guys just become successes, get through our high school, do well, raise great families, and just be great citizens of the city of Chicago.
And the last question I have for you here today is about Pat Foley, who was obviously unable to make it today because he has he's broadcasting for the Hawks now. When do you think you'll get him in?
Well, Pat had a great time here 2 years ago. I asked him about playing. He's a really good friend and loves the St. Pat's kids. And even though he's a Loyola graduate, he's an honorary Shamrock. So we're hoping that when we get an opportunity, maybe your senior year when Loyola comes back here in the home and home, but he wants to get back here, so we'll get him back here as soon as we can.
All right, Dr. Schmidt, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, Anthony, thanks for the great job in the broadcasting booth.
Thank you.
Way to go.
We'll be back right after a short break for the third quarter.
Way to go, baby. You're getting good.
Thank you.
Shamrock ball to start the third quarter.
All right, Shamrock fans, we are back for the second half of action. Just like to give a special shout out to Dr. Schmidt. What a guy to interview. Jalen on the top to John Hamilton. Over on the wing to Sean Eck. Sean gives it to Lawrence on the top of the key. Lawrence will give a little crossover. Looks like Loyola's back in a man-to-man defense. Sean will dribble it, give it to John, who will take a jumper, and that's good. 24-15, Shamrocks trail by 9.
That's great to see right out of the half make their first shot that they shoot. That's big.
One of the things that we're seeing in this game is the Loyola Ramblers are really suffocating our big shooters. So the guys who are required to step up are John and Henry, and they've made their fair share of shots tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have to be big if we're going to come out here with a W. They're going to have to play with a ferociousness kind of inside of them.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be tipped out by Lawrence. It'll be still Loyola's ball.
I kind of want to see us on offense kind of just go inside out instead of going outside in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And it'll be Shamrock ball. A little bit of a wrestle between Henry Guzman and two Ramblers. Henry came out with the ball, kept it in bounds while the Loyola player was on the line, so it'll be Shamrock ball.
That's exactly what you want to see in your big. Going out there fighting for the ball. Yeah, exactly. See, now we're going to have to work it inside and push it out.
There's
Give it to J-Ham.
Working inside. He'll take a shot. He's got it again. The mopping up some more points. Shamrocks only trail by a touchdown.
That was a great play. Got it inside, and if he would have kicked it out, I bet there would have been open 3. When you get it inside, you break down the defense almost every time.
And that also will open up Lawrence and Jalen to shoot threes, which can put us right back into this game very quickly. And blocked by Henry, but they'll call a foul, I believe, on Lawrence. That'll be the first foul of the second half for the Shamrocks, and that one's called on Lawrence Merritt, his second only.
It'll be interesting to see if Lawrence gets into more foul trouble. If we'll see Xavier come in for some extended minutes since he played so well in the first half.
Him and Max, I think, are going to be two guys that are going to be crucial in the second half. However, neither of them are in at this point.
Yeah, if I was Coach Bailey, once you get towards the middle of the third quarter, start of the fourth, you're going to have to start playing the hot hands.
Mm-hmm. Which, as of right now, definitely would be Xavier. And probably John Hamilton you would consider a hot hand.
Yeah, he's playing well right out of the gates.
Jalen right to John, unable to handle it. Loyola on a fast break. And they'll call a foul there on John, I believe. I didn't see much contact.
No, the refs are definitely playing a lot differently than what they're calling in the first half. Kind of started off letting them play, getting physical, and now they're calling everything a foul.
That was John Hamilton's first, the team's second. John's second, the team's second as well. Loyola, one of the big differences in this game is Loyola has made their free throws. And as simple as it is, I believe a 12-foot or 10-foot shot, you need to make them. Nobody's guarding you.
Exactly.
And those have so far come back to haunt us a little bit.
I mean, they're 3 points, and we've already missed, I think, 3.
3 or 4 already.
And our free throw shooting hasn't looked nice. I mean,
And I think Loyola's made 8 or 9 of 10.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we've had a lot of turnovers this game. They're getting those fast break points, and we're forced to foul or just give up transition points, which is not a great way to play against a fast team.
Lawrence with a crossover, kicks it out to Sean, no good. Rebound, out of bounds by Raymar Moore, and the Shamrocks will keep the ball.
That was a great play by Lawrence. Drove in, kind of collapsed the defense, kicked it out to Sean for a good look.
And it'll be tipped out by Loyola.
It's a terrible pass off an inbounds. Can't do that. Lucky that wasn't stolen.
I was just going to say luck was on our side there as we kept the possession. I think this will be a play to isolate Lawrence for a three-pointer. What did I say? A double pick. Lawrence got the ball, unable to put a shot up as Jalen gives it back to Lawrence, who will take a three. Lights out Lawrence, no good.
Man, he just doesn't have it today, it seems. I think that's his 4th missed shot. I don't think anything's gone down for him.
Ooh, Lawrence was confused on that little pass fake. Loyola will take a three, no good. Great rebound by Henry, but he'll push it out of bounds as he was being hung on.
Yeah, you can just tell by the expressions of Lawrence. He's frustrated. He needs to see something go down.
I think the whole team also is a team that goes the way Lawrence does. If he starts making some shots, the team will start going. Io unable to block that one as they'll get it. 12-point lead now for Loyola's. Time is ticking. Only 5 minutes remain here in the third.
I just hope that Lawrence doesn't think that he has to do everything for this team right now and start forcing things.
And it looks like they'll call a charge there.
Yeah, Lawrence starting to get out of control there.
That'll be Lawrence's third, and there you see Lawrence coming right off and Jalen coming into the game.
Yeah, you can't let the emotions get the best of you. Yes.
Excuse me, that was Keyshawn who checked in, so Keyshawn in for Lawrence. Ooh, that's got to be something. They'll call it travel. Could have been a carry, too.
Looked like he just slipped.
John inbounds it to Sean. He'll take it up. And he'll give it to Keyshawn on the edge. Sean Eck now to Keyshawn. He'll fake the shot. Give it over to Dewey. Dewey to Sean. Sean over to Dewey. He'll have an open lane. He'll give it to John. He'll be on over to grab it. That's the second or third time John has been unable to take a pass like that.
Yeah, it's another big thing. Execution drove in, but gave him a pretty bad pass. One that he couldn't hang on to.
Another miss by Loyola. John will pass it up to Sean. He'll try to take it up quickly. They'll give it to Keyshawn, the bullet for three. It's good. The bullet taking a shot. Shamrocks trail now by 9. As I was getting Dr. Schmidt to come on up here, he said to the stud section, how about you guys get us back into this game? So the stud section will be just as motivated as our Shamrocks to get back into this game.
Yeah, hopefully that shot gets our stud section going.
Loyola was forced to call a timeout by the Shamrocks coming into the quarter a little bit fast. What do you think the Loyola coach is saying?
I think he just wants to make sure that they don't start giving up open threes like that one. Make sure they can hold the lead. Also, I think they've been kind of sloppy on their last couple offensive sets. I think individual players are trying to do too much for them right now. As we saw that one, I don't know what his name was or number, but he tried doing a fancy move in the post and just turned it over. You kind of don't see any like NBA type moves or even D1 moves in high school basketball. There's no point of trying to get fancy. The main thing about high school basketball is passing, crisp passing, and getting open shots.
It's definitely something that'll benefit, because if you try to make one of those crazy moves and mess up, you do not look good.
Yeah, you see a spot on the bench for you after that.
And it'll be Shamrock ball. Just the turnover we needed. A three-pointer could cut this lead down to 6. As you see a couple of sharp shooters in there. Keyshawn along with Max Chofie, with Shaunak, Dewey, and Io.
Yeah, they need another shot here to start this run.
There's Keyshawn with a shot. That was short. You could tell it was short as soon as he let it go.
Seems like he hesitated there. You couldn't tell he wanted to shoot.
Definitely. And the three-pointer by Loyola, it's good. Loyola goes back ahead by 12.
Yeah, Shaunak fell, kind of broke that play down, got an open 3.
That was quite a timely 3 for Loyola. Put a knife in the middle of our run. As they'll get another chance to put some points on the board. No good on the shot. No foul called either. Now they'll call something.
I really would have liked to see Xavier come right. Try to see if he can get that spark going again. I mean, he did hit 2 3-pointers. That's a big thing. Ride the hot hand.
Shamrocks lead by 12. Shamrocks trail by 12. As Keyshawn, Max, Sean are the 1, 2, and 3. And Dewey and Io, Keyshawn and Io are the 4 and 5. They're going to need to get some shots quick. There's Jalen.
You can tell Loyola's really disciplined. It seems like they switch on every single screen.
Yeah, that's definitely something that they practice. And Io with the block. And he'll wrestle for the jump ball.
We haven't seen any isolation, it seems, except we saw one off an inbounds pass.
Yeah, and now you see Xavier come in. That's something that might give the Shamrocks a bit of a spark. Xavier was double screened on that play. He switched men twice. Now I believe he's... And they'll call a block there on Keyshawn. Yeah, that was something the Shamrocks were not used to.
Yeah, it's really rare to see any team play 5 guards inside. That's great defense. The guy cut to the basket. Could have been an easy shot.
And Loyola will pass it around the top. Number 25 is really shown to be one of their top players, and that's Raymar Evans. We've called his name a lot today.
Yeah, he looks like the catalyst for this offense. Kind of directing the traffic.
And there you see him making another shot as he brings Loyola's lead to 14. Shamrock's trying to put together a little bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a team effort to come back in this game. But we're going to need some big-time shots.
If that one went in, that would have been a huge start to getting right back into this game. They need to have a couple of defensive stops mixed in with a couple of three-pointers.
It seemed like a deep 3, kind of a bailout 3. I know Max Chofie's a good shooter, but kind of a quick shot. I don't know if it was the best look.
Yeah, they really need to stick to their plan, because I think the shots and the points will come. As Jalen can't get it to go, Henry will get a rebound there, and he'll put it right back in. Shamrocks cut the lead to 12.
That was lucky we got that shot. Jalen was out of control. Took it in on 3 guys.
And Loyola drains yet another three-pointer. They are lights out today.
Like we said at the beginning of the show, any team can get hot from 3 any night. It seems like they got hot. That was contested 3.
And there's Jalen with a quick 3, no good. Max unable to get it, but I appreciate the hustle there. And you said the word you used to describe good three-point shooting was lethal. And boy, has it been lethal so far.
Yeah, I bet they've made over 50% of their threes. And
Yeah.
When you shoot over 50% from three, you're probably going to be high up there on the scoreboard. It's really rare that you lose those kind of games. And I wouldn't even say that we're not even contesting the threes. Some of these threes are contested as well, like that last one.
Yeah, it truly shows that a three-point shooting team can win on any given night.
I mean, we see it in college and NBA. Three-point shooting is becoming more and more of a used weapon.
Definitely. Andre Wright, no good. Xavier will get the rebound, dribble around a couple of guys. He'll take his handles all the way to half court. The Shamrocks will get a chance to inbound it with 3 seconds left. Ideal situation would be a buzzer beater goes in. That sparks the momentum from the crowd and the team, and that's the beginning of a nice comeback.
Yeah, they're going to need to start setting goals for times. Time's going to be a factor in the fourth quarter. Down 15, you're going to need a lot of points.
They're going to need to play the type of defense that doesn't allow Loyola to stall the entire time.
What?
I believe they said that Jalen caught the ball on the line. Or they will re-inbound. They'll be re-inbounding. I'm not exactly sure why. Now there's 30 seconds left on the clock. They adjusted that back to 3. Here's our chance, ladies and gentlemen. 3 seconds. Xavier. His shot, no good. No foul is called either. The Shamrocks will be down by 15, I believe their biggest deficit of the season. And they have 8 minutes, a measly 1 quarter, to overcome that deficit.
Yeah, it seemed like the first quarter really killed us there. I mean, I think we had 1 point in the first quarter, right?
Yeah, we were down 11-1 after the first.
Yeah, it's hard to, especially when the shots wasn't going early on, it's hard to pick it up and get it going in the other quarters. Especially I would say our big players really haven't played that well. Lawrence, I think he's 0 for 4 from the field. That hurts you.
This lead is definitely not insurmountable because we know how good the Shamrocks can start shooting at any second. The thing that may make it insurmountable is the amount of time we have left mixed with the amount of time Loyola's going to take on their possessions.
Yeah, we've been talking about how lethal Loyola's been, but if St. Pat's can get it going and their shots start falling, we can cut this lead and at least make this game competitive.
That's all you want to see is a competitive basketball game.
But the important thing, they're going to have to come out with intensity in the fourth quarter and really set the tone early. Because if they start letting Loyola keep getting these threes and points, we're not going to be able to come back. I mean, you have to keep the lead definitely. I don't know if we can push it any past 15.
Definitely. But I have a funny feeling that the Shamrocks will get right back into this game quick. I think they'll make a couple of shots early. And ultimately, I think they'll at least send this game to overtime.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a Shamrocks come back, competitive game. If that happens, it's such a great confidence booster for the rest of the season. I don't think we've seen St. Pat's down by this much in a game yet.
Yeah, they've been at least closer in just about every other game. And you see there, Shawneck trying to anchor his defense. I think the Shamrocks have a little bit of tricks up their sleeve along with some intensity to get right back in this one.
I think they went to a smaller set, get some more three-pointers.
No good on the 3 attempts. Shawneck will get it. And that'll be a turnover. And no foul as Shawneck got trampled. They'll call a block there on Henry.
Not a great start for first possession of the quarter. Just turned it over on a bad pass.
I wish we could go back and show you a replay. Shawneck got trampled after he gave that pass, and I don't know why there was no whistle.
I think the ref was already turned around. He didn't even see it.
Yeah, I mean, because that looked like almost like a football tackle.
Yeah, that definitely was a loose ball foul. I just don't think they saw it.
Number 22 at the line. That's Matt Lynch.
See that we went to four guards now. Definitely want to get those three-pointers down.
And Matt Lynch missed the first shot. And Matt Lynch's second shot is up and is good. The lead is now 16 for the Ramblers.
This is a big shot to get the quarter going. Need something good. And it doesn't have to be a three. It just needs to be a good quality shot.
Points are points. Doesn't really matter how they come. Lawrence takes a shot from the baseline. Lights out. Lawrence finally gets it going. Let's hope that can stay a trend for the rest of the game, as the Shamrocks now trail by 14.
It's a big shot. It's not an easy shot fading away in the corner.
All we have to do is outscore them 2 points to 1 for every minute left in this game, and we'll end tied. That's for all you math geeks out there.
I didn't think it happened.
And no block, but no basket. Henry gets the rebound and gives it to Sean. He'll push it up the court quickly. What a crossover. He'll head right in.
Ooh.
No foul. He hit the floor hard. And he will not get called for a foul, but may I say, what a crossover and what an attacking move towards the basket. If they want to come back in the game, they're going to have to be aggressive, and I like that play.
Yeah, we heard him fall all the way up from up here.
Yet another three-pointer, 41-24. Shamrocks trail. They need to get it going quick. Lawrence to Jalen. He'll take a three-pointer. No good. Rims out.
You saw Coach Bailey just kind of bend over and almost shocked that we're missing so many good-looking shots.
It's not something that usually happens, especially to guys like Jalen and Lawrence, who are so dynamic from behind the line.
Yeah, usually we're so deadly from back there. That's just what kind of happens. Sometimes you just can't come out with the same three-point shooting. You can't always rely on that. And when that's not working, you kind of have to go to your secondary options. And I think that's been kind of one of our problems.
Definitely. As the Ramblers look to begin to try to waste some time, as only 5.5 minutes remain. And nice shot fake, and he'll get an easy layup. As the Shamrocks will call a timeout, as they trail now by 19.
I think the Shamrocks kind of regret not going to their other options earlier in the game. The three-point shooting just hasn't been working that well, other than the 2 threes from Xavier and some scatter threes around. But we haven't really been shooting that well at all tonight. Kind of regret that.
More and more as the clock ticks down, the possibility for a miracle comeback becomes less probable, but it still is possible.
Yeah, and now we're going to have to use the three-point shooting to come back into it. And we're going to have to make some big stops and force some turnovers on defense.
Definitely. We got to rely on Loyola not making any more three-pointers, because as deadly as we can be back there, when a three-pointer is made against us, it's just as deadly.
I wonder if we'll see some kind of fouling strategy come out there. You've seen the hack of Jordans, hack of Shaq.
Yeah.
Stop the clock, and I don't know. I wonder if the coaches know the free throw percentages for the other players. But if there's someone out there with a bad free throw shooting, it's always an option.
Definitely. And now that we are at 6 fouls, that puts us, I believe, one more, and we're in the bonus.
It's just you have to make sure that that you spread the fouls out and you don't give one player all the fouls in that situation. You don't want one of your best players fouling out.
And now we'd like to take some time to advertise. If you want to email us, you can email at us SPHSwebcast@stpatrick.org, or follow us on Twitter at SPHWebcast. Xavier now taking the point guard duties, bringing the ball up the court.
The one guy we've kind of been seeing get less and less minutes has been Dewey, but let's see what he can do here.
Xavier will take a three. No good. First miss of the night for him. And Sean will get it. Right to Jalen for three. That's no good as well.
I think that's just proof that it's not our night.
Definitely. I agree.
That's kind of rough for Xavier to come out of the second half and have to take up a quick shot. You're probably pretty cold after coming out for that long.
Yeah, you can't necessarily count on him making that. But once he's in his groove, he can be as lights out as Lawrence. But obviously, as we've seen so far, Lawrence has been anything but lights out.
Yeah, kind of an uncharacteristic game for Lawrence.
Yep, they'll need to rebound for sure, as I believe their next game is against Niles West. It's this Saturday. We will unfortunately not be able to bring it to you because, of course, it's at Niles West. But the next game that we can bring to you is the 22nd of January. It's a Friday against Marion Central Catholic. That's 1 week from this Friday. Loyola's passing it around. As it looks like they're just stalling for time here.
Yeah, I really want them to go to the Hack-a-Shack, just kind of see what happens if they go to that. I mean, 19 points, 4 minutes, kind of seems insurmountable.
Or if they're not going to go to the Hack-a-Shack routine, why not bring in some of the other guys like Killian or Labus?
Yeah, you kind of like to see them unload the bench at this point. Especially in a high school game, 19 points is a lot bigger of a difference than NBA or college.
Especially with only 4 to go.
Yeah.
And a missed layup there. Shamrock's unable to grab it.
Even though this might look like a bad loss, it's kind of a kick in the butt for the future. I mean, we came out here it didn't seem like we had a lot of intensity versus Dundee Crown. Maybe this will give us more intensity going forward. You always see teams that take these bad losses, they build on it, and they get better from it.
As there are 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, at this point, it just seems like Loyola is going to try wasting the time as much as possible.
As Loyola gets it stolen by Xavier. No look pass to Dewey. He'll get the layup to go. Maybe that's the spark we needed. Shamrocks trail now by 17.
That was great vision by Xavier. He saw the only man that was back go on to him, pass it off to Dewey.
And Xavier strips it from number 22, Lynch, but is unable to keep it in bounds.
And there you see Raymar Johnson coming in for the first time.
KJ's in there. And they'll call a timeout.
I always wonder why he's not in the main rotation. He's got a lot of talent. He seems really athletic. And I mean, we've seen him come in towards late games and just kind of take over.
One of the words that you like to use to describe a player is polished. And I think the reason that Craymond does not play as much as a guy like, for instance, Io or Henry or even Keyshawn is because he doesn't have the moves and he's not as comfortable as some of those other guys are.
I agree. But he definitely has the potential to be a big player next year, or at least in the rotation next year.
I think definitely next year will be kind of his breakout year. Too bad for him it didn't come a little bit earlier because next year will be his senior year. But we also do have a lot of sophomores that have been putting up some great numbers. Xavier Pinsent being one of them who you already see. Chris Lara, he's also dressing for varsity, along with freshman Marcus Wright, who hasn't played a minute of freshman basketball his entire career at St. Pat's.
I'm pretty sure he's tearing up in the sophomore team, too.
Yep. He hasn't had 1 day on the freshman team. He's been on sophomore all year, and we've even seen him in a couple of varsity games so far.
I think, in fact, he actually starts on the sophomore team.
And I think his role increases now with Xavier having to spend all 4 quarters on varsity. I believe that only means he can play 2 for the sophomore team, as Loyola gets a very quick basket and a foul.
Tell them to turn on the light and delete that so we can see the end of the game.
And the free throw attempt by number 4, Robert Caprizi, is good. The lead is now 20. Xavier on top of the key. He'll give it to Sean Eck. He'll take a three-pointer. No good for the Muffin Man. And Loyola will bring it right back up the court. Loyola passing it around. They'll get it inside, but probably take it back out as they do. Over on top of the key. And it gets poked away. Craymon will have to save it. He does. He'll have to slow it down. And pass is turned over. Coach Bailey gave a little shrug of the shoulders like nobody we put in there can do anything right tonight.
I think that's the other thing we see about Craymon. His decision-making might not be there yet, as that was not a very good pass.
And Dewey will be called for a foul. Would you consider this game a blowout?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we were in it till like middle of the fourth quarter, but I mean, I think we had how many points in the score? 2?
In this quarter, I believe only 2, and in the first quarter, just 1.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. 2 quarters, 3 points total. That's not a good night. I think Loyola just had a shutdown defense. They knew our strengths, and they kind of bowed that up, and we couldn't get anything going from seemingly anywhere.
The Shamrocks will definitely be going back to the drawing board after a game like this one. As that's number 4, Robert Capizzi at the line for another set of 2 shots.
Yeah, I think they're going to need some other options.
And that one is up and no good. And it'll be Shamrock ball.
Also, I mean, I don't know if you can really fault that the defense wasn't there, but I mean, 47 points, kind of uncharacteristically high for the St. Patrick basketball team.
As there you see Sean Eck bringing it up. He'll give it to Craymon. Craymon on top to Dewey, over to Sean. Sean over to Xavier. He'll dribble right in, give a bounce pass to Craymon. He'll be unable to get it. And I believe it'll be out of bounds on Loyola, because I saw his elbow on the line. A minute and a quarter remain here.
Interesting that we don't see the rest of the bench come in.
Yeah, I'd like to see a guy like Killian and Labus and McLaughlin come in a game that now down 21 with a minute left is out of reach. Xavier over to Dewey. Dewey takes a long 3, no good. Io grabs the rebound, gives it right back up there to Dewey. Over to Craymon. Craymon with a nasty crossover, unable to maintain the dribble. He'll give it to Dewey. Dewey to Xavier. Xavier with a shot fake. He'll take a 3, no good. Although the Shamrocks look like they're going to come away with an L underneath the loss column, I still like to give an MVP award for the game, and to me the MVP has been sophomore Xavier Pinson.
Yeah, he came in here. He was really the only spark for this team. Came out here with 2 threes.
And I think he'll cement a bigger role as the season goes on.
He kind of reminds me of Aaron Brooks for the Wolves. Kind of comes out here, spark off the bench, kind of tries to mainly do stuff on offense to help this team.
Or from a couple years ago, a guy like Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
Maybe not the biggest guy, but plays a little bit bigger than he looks. Craymon will go right in there. He'll be going to the line for 2 shots. Craymon Johnson to the line for 2.
He had 3 guys on him, but he got a foul, so kind of lucky. Kind of seemed kind of wild. But at this point, I think he wants to get his shot up, and he just airballed a free throw. The third
air ball of the day. See if Craymon can get this one to go.
I think next practice, Coach Bailey, a lot of free throw shooting.
Yep. And finally, Craymon will get it to go. A free throw made by the Shamrocks has been hard to come by so far. Over on top with 9 seconds, 8 seconds. 5 seconds remain here. And Loyola's going to come away with a victory. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it does not look like we will be firing up the fight song tonight. Shamrocks come away with a loss as Loyola won 47-27. Now, as we already said, our MVPs, we both chose the sophomore Xavier Pinson. We'd like to take a look at the 3 keys. Unfortunately, I think this is the first time all three of them were disasters. Stop three-point shooting. Loyola burned us with their three-point shooting. The second one was rebound, and Loyola, we got a lot of rebounds, but not as many as we needed.
Yeah, they got a lot. They got a couple second chance points. Would have been nice. It wasn't bad, but could have been fixed.
And third, I think, was the worst, shooting our own gym. We missed definitely more than 50% of our threes. We probably shot like 30 or 20 from the three-point line. We definitely did not make a lot of three-pointers, and you saw free throws were not our biggest part of the game either.
Yeah, I would pretty much blatantly say our shooting was awful for the night.
Yep, but we will be back here January 22nd, a Friday, to take on Marion Central Catholic. Thanks for joining us tonight at Kirtland Court. The final score was the Loyola Ramblers 47 and the St. Patrick Shamrocks 27. Give a great thank you to Dr. Schmidt for joining us during halftime for his interview. And we'd also like to express our gratitude to some of the behind-the-scenes people who turn this production what it is. Joey Osterreich, class of 2019, as a cameraman. Michael Pasquale, my brother, as a video coordinator and audio coordinator, and especially Mr. Doyle as our great producer and director. Without those people tonight, we would not have been able to put on the show that we did. I'm here with Nathan Uzenis, and I'm Anthony Pasquale, class of 2018. Join us again Friday, January 22nd, 2016, when we take on Marion Central Catholic right here at Kirtland Court. We'll be on Ustream TV at 6:30 p.m., and we're always on Twitter at SPHS Webcast, and you can drop us a line at SPHSWebcast@stpatrick.org. For Nathan, I'm Anthony saying hasta la vista from Kirtland Court. So long, and we'll see you next time. Rock on.